that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 9. I'm Mike Prue along with JV. JV, how you doing this week?
Doing well, my man. It's getting cold again.
Yeah.
It's, as might say, stone cold outside lately. In
Yeah, not
New
quite,
England.
but yeah, definitely getting cold. We're at like 30 degrees now, 40 degrees in that range.
Yeah, don't miss it.
It's just like that stale, cold feeling. Nasty. So, here we are, mid-November now, heading into mid-November. Been at it for a couple months here. Episode 9, The Revenge of the Taker. Now, whenever when I'm prepping for this episode, I'm looking at my notes, Revenge of the Taker. I keep thinking I'm going to be watching an Undertaker Stone Cold match, but...
Me too.
It's just
I keep thinking that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Stone Cold Taker. Then I'm, getting up, doing my homework, getting ready to watch the match. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not Stone Cold Taker.
It's Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So we'll be covering another Bret Hart match this week, which is always pleasant. It's always good stuff with Bret Hart. And this will be the third. This is basically a trilogy, because I don't think they have another big profile match against each other. Definitely not on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't think so, because, I mean, we obviously know Bret Hart's career is kind of wrapping up over the rest of the way through the end of the year here, so...
Right. So they have the Survivor Series match, and then WrestleMania match, and then again, they're having this match here at Revenge of Taker. Then they have one on Raw the next night. Oh, that's a little different kind of match. It's a street fight. We'll be talking about that next week when we get to the act.
No spoilers.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, Undertaker is coming next week, though. So, we'll be getting to that. And the reason why I bring that up now is because we did a poll over the weekend to see what would be our next watch-along special edition. So, we put up the 4 choices would be the next 4 episodes. So, we had Undertaker from Cold Day in Hell. And then King of the Ring. Austin has a match with Shawn Michaels. Then In Your House Canadian Stampede is the 10-man tag match with Austin involved. And then August would be against Owen Hart where he breaks his neck. So those are all on the poll. And it went unexpectedly, I thought. I was hoping for Canadian Stampede or even SummerSlam. I voted for Canadian Stampede. I had just been doing the research on that one. And the match was pretty awesome. There was a lot of different guys in the match, so there's a lot to talk about with the watch-along. So I was hoping for that. But then out of nowhere, Undertaker just took over. Everybody started voting for the Undertaker. It was Undertaker won by 41% of the vote.
Damn.
With over 80 people voting in it. So it's happy to see that many people go and vote. When I posted it, I was like, am I going to have to go on my own account and vote, be the only one to vote for this?
When I voted, there was, and I voted for SummerSlam Owen Hart, which you will probably do that one anyway. So I was kind of looking forward to it when I was casting my vote. And I think at the time there was like 42 votes when I voted. So, I mean,
basically
we
doubled.
ended up with double that. So,
yeah. So thanks for voting if you voted, and we'll have that episode for you just coming up at the end of next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be coming up quickly. And that's why I was hoping to go with Canadian Stampede or SummerSlam, because it'll give us a little break. Not that. I love doing a watch-along, but I feel like we just keep bumping out special editions. Not going to become very special if they're every week.
It's like a weekly occurrence. It's special. Yeah. Is it? You really special?
So
they're going to have special editions for like something else we do.
The really special edition.
Yeah. This is rare. You got to collect this podcast. It's rare.
So next week is already Thanksgiving. So we'll be posting our regular episode the day before Thanksgiving, and then the special edition will come out on Black Friday. So after you go shopping with all the nuts, you can go sit back and watch Undertaker versus Steve Austin from Cold Day in Hell watch along. So that's coming up next week. But this week we'll be covering March through April of 1997, and we're leading to another Bret Hart match. And we had just experienced the turn, the major turn, the double turn, as people like to say. And last week when we talked about it, we kind of explained and went over the point that it happened gradually over time. It wasn't just happening right there at WrestleMania. But ultimately, it's solidified at WrestleMania is that Bret Hart has become the heel. Steve Austin is now the babyface. And we're going to see right on the next night where they're kind of trying to just prove that point. And Bret Hart's going to do an interview at the beginning of Raw 202 from March 24th, 1997. Is happening in Rockford, Illinois. So Bret Hart's going to come out at some point to do a promo. Now, we often play promos on our episodes, but this one was kind of long. So JV and I decided that we'll leave this one for you guys to go on the network and watch on your own. And it's 12 minutes long. It's actually like a 20-minute segment. This is the beginning of when Raw is starting to have those long interview segments, which take up like a large portion of the show. So if you want to check that out, we'll talk about it here, but if you want to check it out because it's a really good promo, it starts at 50 minutes, and the Bret Hart portion of it goes until 1 hour and 2 minutes, 55 seconds. So 50 minutes to 1 hour and 2 minutes. Oh, JV, you have any thoughts on this promo that Bret Hart has? It
was an awesome promo. He's obviously coming out there to air his true feelings with the rest of the WWF universe, specifically those in the United States of America. He starts off his promo. He's apologizing to all the international fans: Germany, UK, Europe, Japan, Far East, Middle East, South Africa, and especially Canada. But no apologies for the United States of America. So we're getting bitter Bret Hart. He's not happy that fans cheered Austin in defeat at WrestleMania 13. And he's just not happy with the way, the shape of the wrestling universe is kind of coming together, where people aren't appreciating role models that are clean cut like Bret Hart is. And Bret Hart's goal now is to kind of clean up the WWF. That's kind of why he came back from after WrestleMania 12 is to kind of clean up WWF and bring some stability and honor back to the product.
All right, and all the fans at this point have kind of turned on his old ways, the babyface ways,
Yep.
and they're rooting for these cheaters and these cocky guys that complain and get their way, like Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin. So Bret's saying that the American fans have turned on him. Now, I did notice, and he'll do this a few times, he makes it a point to say the American wrestling fans, so that he's not really just saying, Americans stink. He's saying American wrestling fans stink. So he's not clumping all of Americans into it. He's just the wrestling fans that are American are shitty. So he goes on to he starts to poke at Shawn Michaels too, and he brings up that Shawn Michaels is in a girly magazine. He's in it. He even says, which would never happen today, but he says, you're in your girly magazine. Well, actually, I think it's a gay magazine. Yeah. So definitely a different time, 21 years ago, where you could say things like that. And, well, you probably shouldn't have said it even back then, but it was just a different attitude that people had. It's tough to explain if you didn't live during that time. Definitely wouldn't fly today.
No, I don't think WWE would push it there at this day and age. But it was funny how it is funny, even to this day. I don't care. It's funny that he kind of calls out that aspect of it, because in 1997 it was a more homophobic America,
Climate,
climate at that time. So it fit the bill. And even now, I mean, it would still fit the bill. It would be more controversial, but it would still sell.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they just try to avoid that now.
Yeah.
So ultimately, they say nobody respects him. All the American fans can kiss his ass. I think that's the favorite word of the time, is ass.
Yeah.
People are just
kiss
using
my
ass.
ass.
Oh yeah, it's always like kiss my ass. Steve Austin's like, I'm gonna get a piece of your ass. I want your ass. It's while watching all these Austin promos throughout the months, and even going beyond this. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit beyond, but I've watched some recently doing research for the upcoming shows, where he oftentimes, and we'll talk about it more when we actually have the promos, but he often he kind of like he gets what. Let me have to rephrase that there. When he's talking about ass, he often uses it in a kind of different way than he's intending to. So it's almost like he's, trying to be badass, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a piece of your ass, but it comes off sounding like he wants the guy's ass. One example is he's doing a promo with Mankind. So Mankind's on the Titantron, and Austin's in the ring, and Mankind's like, I have a nice ass. Mankind says something like he has a nice ass. I like my ass. I have a nice ass. And then Stone Cold says, yeah. He says, yeah, you have a big, nice, fat ass. And he's like trying to insult him by calling it a fat ass. But it just sounds like you say, yeah, you got a nice, big, fat ass.
Nice ass in those brown jumpsuit, bro.
So, I forget which episode that's going to be on, but that's coming up, and I'm definitely going to play that clip.
Yeah, we have to now. That's hilarious.
Austin does that a few times where what he's trying to say comes off as being like he's into the guy's ass.
But
Right, so.
I have another couple points about the promo. I remember this promo, not word for word, but I remember this when it happened. And you could feel then, I remember even as a child listening to it then, you can feel the realism in this one. Like, as much as Bret Hart's acting, a lot of it felt real. Like, he was really kind of like just pissed at America. And I still think at this point a little bit of that was probably conversations he had with maybe some of his Canadian buddies. Who knows? Like, yeah. But it felt real. A hell of an acting job. But he seems legitimately irate with the United States of America. He's bitter. He's salty. He takes shots at American wrestling fans again, although they don't understand dignity, poise, prestige, and a man of class. How he makes out that shot about how our role models are Charles Manson and O.J. Simpson, and how we glorify criminals, and we don't understand respect. And I think that's kind of the underlying theme here, is that American wrestling fans don't have any respect. Respect for ourselves, or respect for the industry, respect for others, etc.
The crazy thing is, too, he's saying that, and he's pretty much spot on. But even years to come, the next couple of years, the culture of the United States gets even worse with, the type of things that everyone thinks is funny, like, South Park. Not that that's not bad.
I still find that funny, but I can see how some people don't
I think it is.
find that stuff funny.
Right, it was a complete change, so Bret Hart's seeing it, and he's mentioned it before it really even gets even more out of hand. It's weird that it goes through stages. We can go through an era where it's all just out there in the open, and people are just like, yeah, screw it, this is how we're gonna be, and then it gets to the point where we are now, where we have to be like, oh, you can't say that. Be careful with what we say. So just. Culture changes.
Yeah, even in a comedic environment, like even some comedians there's only so much they can do now. Like, watch it, not to get off topic here, but listen to an Eddie Murphy. Let's see Eddie Murphy try to do one of his stand-ups from the 80s in this day and age and see how it goes over.
Right, exactly.
I think it's a great comedy hour, but is it offensive to some people then? Yeah. Is it offensive to even more people now? Absolutely.
Yep. And people be shocked some people would be shocked by the Eddie Murphy that they don't know.
Yeah, they'd be appalled. Like, what is the donkey doing? Dr. Doolittle, no.
Oh, Nutty Professor. Come on.
Chill out.
So that's pretty much the promo. Shawn Michaels does come out for the last 5 minutes, and Shawn Michaels is totally like the American. We got a phrase in America: love it or leave it. So Michaels even insinuates that he's not the gay one. Bret Hart's the gay one because you just couldn't help yourself. You had to look through the magazine.
Hell of a comeback.
So once Michaels does that, then Hart can't stand to be called gay. So he attacks him, and that's where it ends there. He gets the figure 4 post on him again, and this is the night where just solidifying that Bret Hart is now a heel.
Yep.
Totally a heel.
One part I did like from this is when he calls Bret Hart a mark man. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, double entendre there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mark man. He's a hitman.
Yep.
Hitman. It's hit his mark. Something that happened earlier in the show, I skipped over, but is important because we've been talking about it for weeks. That's Owen and Bulldog. They had tension building up over the last few months. And it actually does come to a blow here. And they start to argue with each other. They start to push each other. Owen Hart wants to have a match. He wants a title shot. So they agree to have a European title match the following week. One other major thing that happened that pertains to the fallout of WrestleMania is that Ken Shamrock gets interviewed. And he calls Austin one of the toughest guys that he's ever seen. And that kind of legitimizes Austin because now you have world's most dangerous man, UFC star fighter, coming out and saying that Austin is one of the toughest guys he's ever seen because he didn't quit. And last week we were talking about whether or not the blood was, a hard way or if it was a cut, if they bladed themselves. So I did listen to an interview this past week, an older interview where it was on the Edge and Christian podcast, and they had Steve Austin and Bret Hart talk about the match. Whole match. It was called Anatomy of the Match. Yep. So they went through everything, and they talked about how they kept that a secret. Bret Hart came up with the idea that Austin, you should get some blood because it's going to help people sympathize with you even more and help with the babyface turn and create sympathy at that point. So they went against the rules because the man doesn't want anybody to bleed. So Bret Hart took the initiative to do it because he had been with the company already for over a decade. And Steve Austin said, all right, I'm just going to take his word for it, act like I have no part in this, and go along with it because Austin had only been there for a year. So, he just uses Bret's credit, basically. All right, Bret's going to do it. He's going to take the fall for it if we get caught. And whatever. So they end up doing it, and they do it at the spot where he throws him into the guardrail, and Bret Hart just comes up to him real quick and slices a little tiny slice. And I guess Austin had said that he hadn't had any aspirins or anything that day, so the blood came out really quickly. It looked crazy, he said. And he said he bled so much that after, when he got back to the back, he was drunk off of one beer.
Damn. I'll have to go listen to that. That sounds like a good listen. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, they talked for like an hour and a half about it.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
Edge and Christian show. Everybody else out there, if you haven't listened to that, it's a good breakdown of the match from the two guys that made one of the best matches in wrestling history. So check that out.
Yeah, almost as good as our watch along, but
yeah, almost.
I'm sure it's almost as good.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody that listened to our watch along this past week. For those of you that haven't listened, check it out. Check out that match. All right, so that pretty much concludes Raw 202 from March 24th, 1997. Bret Hart's gonna. One other thing Bret Hart does is he attacks Rocky Maivia, and he pegs off a 12-year-old in the audience. so again, it's more of Hart is a heel. He's gonna attack the new babyface, Rocky Maivia, and he's going to peg off a 12-year-old. So he's going to do things that a good guy doesn't do because he's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. All right, so that brings us to the next week. Raw 203 for March 31st, 1997. This was taped next night for Peoria. How do you say that? Peoria, Illinois?
I don't know how to say that one. I'd say Peoria, though.
Yeah. All right, so Owen and Bulldog are going to have this European Championship match, and this is right at the start of the show. So what ultimately ends up happening is Bret Hart comes down and he tells them to stop fighting. He embraces his brother Owen, gives him a hug, and it's the recreation of the Hart Foundation. So for all this time that they were possibly going to split Bulldog and Owen Hart and make Bulldog a babyface, now that Hart's a heel, they've they changed course and they said, let's have Hart build a faction. So get the Hart Foundation now. So we're just starting off with Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Bret Hart. And Bret Hart's going to have a little promo there. Nothing really to talk about other than it's just a recreation of a Hart Foundation. And then we get to Stone Cold. Stone Cold's going to have an interview. Okay, he wasn't really on previous episode because he was all busted and bloody, and she probably just gave him a night off. So he's back the next night, though, for the Raw taping for the following week, Raw 203. And he's going to cut a promo or an interview with Vince McMahon. And we're going to play that one. It's only about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So we'll play that now.
Mr. Austin, first thing we'd like to ask you, if you don't mind, is your viewpoint of WrestleMania.
My viewpoint on WrestleMania is just this. Let me clear the air because I never, ever said I quit. Ken Shamrock could have went out there with 10 hearing aids taped to his fat little head, and he never would have heard it because I never said it. Bret Hart says he beat me to a bloody pulp. That's the biggest bunch of BS I ever heard because I knocked the hell out of my head on a guardrail. Bret Hart, you didn't do a damn thing. On your best day, which was at WrestleMania, you never got the job done. You hooked your little sharpshooter, I'll give you that. The only reason Stone Cold went out was because my head was pumping out more blood than my heart was giving. You're the biggest piece of trash I've ever met in my life. You talk about coming to the WWF, making the big comeback because the people needed a hero. You talk about being what you thought the people wanted you to be. That's the biggest bunch of BS I ever heard again. You can look at Steve Austin and you can think whatever you want. You can think I'm a class act, or you can think I'm the biggest jackass you ever met. But the bottom line is, I ain't changing for nobody. You put me in this ring, and when the bell goes off, whether you got me against a good guy and the people boo the hell out of me, or you got me against a bad guy and they cheer me, it doesn't make a damn. I am the 1996 King of the Ring. All I set out to do when the bell rings is whip somebody's and you ain't gonna like how I do it, but I'm damn sure gonna get the job done. I'll say something to Bret Hart right now. If you ain't in the back crying, if you ain't quit the Federation again, put on a clean pair of panties and get your out of here because I'll beat the hell out of you. Right?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, you got a lot of nerve even showing up here tonight. Because you know and I know that I played it simply just kicked your in WrestleMania 13, and you might not like it, but you know, like a good hyena, you'd think you'd have come back with your tail between your legs, but the fact is, you don't got a tail. But for hyena, You don't look like you're laughing very much because you just got your butt kicked by the real king of the jungle. And you can talk about how your head got busted open. Well, your head got busted open because I threw you into that railing. And I threw you from pillar to post, and I beat your ass from one end of that ring, and you don't like it.
Let me tell you
but it's
this.
happened once, and it'll happen again and again and again. But you know what? I'm finished with you.
No, you're not.
I'm finished. I don't want to see you
have to kill
again.
me. You'll have to kill me to be finished with me. You go get the Bulldog. You go get Owen Hart. Tell him to go get some crowbars to pry me off of your ass.
I don't need anybody. I didn't need anybody in WrestleMania 13, and I didn't need anybody in the Survivor Series. I can beat you on my own, and I've proven it time in and time out.
The next time we get in this ring, if you thought like I looked like a bloody mess at WrestleMania 13, I swear on my life, you will look 10 times worse than that. And here it is. One of these days, I'm going to look down at your grave, and it's going to say, here lies Bret the Hitman Hart, the biggest piece of crap that ever walked the face of the earth. And the reason he's laying here is because Steve Austin whipped his pink and black, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Okay, so one of the first things I noticed that I really liked about this interview is that Austin comes out, he's wearing the Austin 316 t-shirt.
Yep.
It's the first time that he's actually wearing it on TV. You've seen it in the crowd since January, since the Royal Rumble. But he's actually coming out wearing it now, and he's going to do this, pretty much going forward from this point on in the rest of his time in WWF. Generally going to be wearing t-shirt and jeans, or jeans shorts, and jorts.
Working man outfit.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, exactly. And it's perfect, too, because this is good marketing. You wear the t-shirt, the top babyface in the company wear the t-shirt, and then people are more likely to want to buy the shirt because, it's the same shirt that Austin wears, so I want to have that. If they think Austin's cool, well, I want to be cool like Austin, so I'm going to wear his shirt. So that you didn't see that much prior to Austin doing it. And the only really good example of somebody doing it before Austin was Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would wear the Hulkamania shirts, Hulkamaniacs.
And another that comes to mind is Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah, Roddy Piper.
He'd wear the Hot Rod t-shirt constantly. But outside of that, can't really think of anyone else that wore a t-shirt.
Yeah, most people don't wear their t-shirts. And it's probably because the t-shirt sucked.
Yeah.
They didn't have many shirts that just had like a phrase on it. And Austin, I believe Austin said that he came up with the idea for the t-shirt. That he just wanted it to be plain Austin 316 on the front. With a skull on the back. That's it.
Still the greatest t-shirt in wrestling history, in my opinion. Sorry, NWO. I know those were great t-shirts. Everyone had it. They're cool. But that Austin 316 t-shirt with the skull on the back, just, I don't know. That's the best wrestling t-shirt, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was around this time I got my first Austin 316 shirt in the original run. So it was probably the summer of '97 is when I had it. I remember I was at a fair with our friend Marty. We were at the Brockton Fair, and they had one of those dunk tanks with the clown.
I've heard this before.
And the clown is egging people on, and he's just trying to get people to pay money to try to dunk him. So he's being a dickhead to people, the routine. So there I am, 14 years old, 8th grader, going into 8th grade, right? No, going into 9th grade, and I got my Austin 316 shirt on. So I'm there, I'm watching the clown make fun of people, and it's funny. So I'm laughing, and he goes, "Hey, what are you laughing at? Austin 316, what is that, your weight?" Was that how much you weigh?
Hey, that clown, though, at that fair was vicious.
Yeah.
Hey, there's actually videos of that guy on YouTube I found.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to go to different fairs, too, but there's some from the Brockton Fair. Man, his material was gold, and it was all on the fly like he got you. That was...
And that just stuck with me. I didn't even bother either because I was like, I'm not going to try to throw a miss, and he keeps making fun of me even more. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, good one. Marty had a laugh forever about that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wasn't there because I've heard it so many times over this. We've been friends forever now, all three of us, and it still makes me laugh every time I hear it.
All right, so other aspects to take away from that interview is that Austin just making a point to say that he never quit. That's the big thing. That's the big takeaway from the match is that he never quit, and he's actually still bandaged up. He says that Hart didn't bust him open, that he hit his head on the guardrail. So it's good that he says that because, based on what I was just talking about from the interview, or from the Edge and Christian episode, is that they wanted McMahon to think that he hit his head on the guardrail. So, right in an interview with McMahon there, just pointed out again to him, Hart didn't bust me open, I hit my head on the guardrail. So it worked double, basically. It's saying that, oh, no, Hart didn't beat me to blood, to a bloody pulp. I just happened to hit my head. And it's, no, we didn't do what we weren't supposed to. It was an accident. I hit my head on the guardrail. So, good idea to mention that in front of the boss. So Austin does continue to just go off about Bret, and he doesn't care if he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's just there to whoop some ass. So the crowd loves that.
Yeah, I like that part where he's like, I don't care if he does the finger quotes.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if you're a good guy or a bad guy.
So he's basically challenging Hart to come out there. And I like what he says. He tells Hart, and he's come on out here. He says, go get your clean panties on.
Yeah.
Get out here. He should have said like clean pink panties or something.
Yeah. He kind of makes I think in a future promo on this particular episode we're gonna go over, I think he makes a point of him having black and pink panties or something.
Oh, does he?
I think so. I forget. But one part I did like that Austin says, one quote was pretty good, is that his head was pumping out more blood than his heart was given.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, just another classic Austin one-liner.
Yep. And then he goes on to Bret. Bret shows up on the Titantron after he says to get his panties ready and such. He says, you're going to have to kill me to be finished with me, and then next time we're in the ring, you're going to look 10 times worse than I did. So you can see that they're building up to the next match. It hasn't been announced yet, but that's where they're going. So, good little promo there. You got the Stone Cold Rules. It rules with no E. Rules with a Z. R-U-L-Z. I don't know why people always try to be creative with spelling words wrong. Yeah. Stone Cold Rules. Yeah. Alright, so there's going to be a match announced. And I don't remember even hearing this announced. That it's going to be Bret Hart versus Sid for the April In Your House pay-per-view. I don't know why that's a match. Well, apparently that's a match. And that's going to play into the story. Eventually, Austin's going to replace Sid. But just want to point that out there, that it's supposed to be Bret versus Sid at In Your House at the Revenge of Taker. And just a little side note. Based on what happened the previous week when Bret Hart attacked Rocky Maivia, Bret Hart's going to have a match with Rocky Maivia for the IC title. It's an actual IC title match where Bret Hart could get gold in the Continental title and win the title for a third time. So, it doesn't obviously plays out the way that it usually does. There's going to be interference. Austin's going to come out and he's going to attack Bret. Bret gets DQ'd for not breaking a ring post, figure 4. And then Owen and Bulldog come out, and they help out Bret, and then you have the Legion of Doom. Yeah, I thought that was kind of random that the Legion of Doom came out.
Very random.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to end up being on Austin's tag team with the Canadian Stampede against the Harts. But at this point, it's like, ooh, that's kind of random to have LOD help Austin.
It's like, oh, get some badasses in. Like, Austin's a badass. So was the Legion of Doom. Yeah, I guess.
Right.
It was a reach.
Yeah, they get to the point now that, we got this faction. Austin can't take on all of them by himself. Let's give him some help.
Yeah, let's give him some randoms that we think make sense, but they really don't.
But I like going forward, whenever Austin gets help from somebody, he doesn't say thank you or anything. He's like, I don't need your help.
Yeah.
I didn't need So that's going to happen often over the course of the summer coming up.
Good character building, just for that alone.
Yeah. Yep. All right, the following week, Raw 204. Okay, we're now into April 7th, 1997. Okay, on the network, before this episode starts, it gives the first warning for TVMA.
Yeah, I noticed that.
When I first saw that, I was like, "Yeah, that's it. This is the beginning of the Attitude Era," basically in their mind. So if they're rating it, and they're putting up the rating as a warning, WWF's pointing out, "Yeah, this is the Attitude Era now." So Austin's gonna have a match. Okay, he doesn't often have matches at this point on Raw, but he's gonna have a match here with Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's coming out with the Honky Tonk Man, who just seems to not really fit WWF at that time.
Nah, he's totally overstaying his welcome. He has no business being in WWF at this point in time.
No.
He's like a year and a half
10 years.
Yeah.
This is 10 years after his Intercontinental run. He wasn't around for the early 90s at all, I don't think. I don't remember him being around in 91. No, 91. Oh, maybe 91 he was around. Rhythm and Blues tag team. But, yeah, after that, 92, 93, he's gone. He's gone up until this point. He's not a wrestler anymore, but, he's still just hanging around as a manager, basically, or a ring announcer, or commentator. And he just doesn't look right. His outfit sticks out like, like a sore thumb. And his hair, freaking Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit.
Right.
Like, no, people don't give a shit about Elvis in the 90s. They don't. The only people that gave a shit about Elvis are, like, older people. I mean older, like, probably in their 60s then.
Yeah.
Gave a shit about Elvis Presley. Not to shit on the guy's name. If you're a big Elvis Presley fan, I'm sorry. But no one cared about Honky Tonk Man or Elvis Presley in 1997. And when he showed up, it just looks off. It's like, dude, we just got a TVMA warning, and you got the Honky Tonk Man coming out. Guy looks like he should be on the Vegas Strip.
So they're using him to help out Billy Gunn become a single star. So during this match, we get another first time for Austin, and Austin is wearing a knee brace for the first time. His classic knee brace that he'll go on to end up having to wear his whole career.
Yeah, it was a staple of his attire.
Yeah, I'm looking at having some figures of Austin, and every single one of the figures has knee braces on. Actually, one of them has double knee braces.
Yeah,
eventually starts having to wear both.
Yep.
So he has a very noticeable limp as he walks down to the ring, as he will probably the rest of his career too. He always ends up, down the road having a limp at some point. So he's already busted and bruised, and that sucks, because Austin's ability is a lot better than it ends up being, and we're not going to get the best of Austin. Thankfully his promos and all the different angles he was in helps keep him on top. But he definitely can't be the wrestler that he was, just prior to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, he has to change up his moveset.
Yep.
How much weight he can support when he's lifting guys up and all that. Every time he does one of those moves, it's a lot of pressure on that knee. Right. So,
and luckily, his gimmick, his character, allows for him to have a different style. He doesn't have to be technical wrestler anymore. So it works as being just a brawler. And he's probably in so much pain that's why he ended up needing the beers all the time. Just give me some beers down here, and I'll be able to get through the segment. All right, so McMahon starts to hype him up, really, like a big babyface at this point. And it seems like Vince McMahon just has like a hard-on for Austin. Like, oh, the crowd loves him. The crowd loves him. I don't know why, but the crowd loves him. He's a tough guy. And he's just
raving about
signs. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know if you noticed, the announcers don't make any mention of it, but Billy Gunn is making fun of Austin and his knee problems.
I did notice that, yeah.
He's doing, like, fake knee problems. He's walking around the ring. He does it, like, 3 times. And they don't mention it at all on the commentary, so didn't work into the story that they were trying to tell. They don't want to look Austin look weak. Say, oh, he's making fun of his knee issues.
Yeah.
They didn't want to even acknowledge that he had any problems with his knees. Billy Gunn.
I liked Billy Gunn in this match. I don't know. I was like,
I
forgot
did too.
like how good he was really as like a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't really like his character then, but
Yeah, the character sucked.
I couldn't help but think like, what if Billy Gunn showed up now in this day and age? Like he'd still, he'd still do well. He'd probably be, even with all the belts they got now, he'd probably end up holding one of the world titles or something. Like the guy was good. He was always my favorite of the two.
Oh yeah,
New Age Outlaws. I thought he was the better of the two.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Smoking Guns. that was easy.
Yeah, Smoking Guns. That's a no-brainer. Not Bart Gunn.
Definitely better than Bart.
No, but when eventually he's in the New Age Outlaws, so I always liked him better than the Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. Yeah, me too. So they have the match going on, and then they have the bottom third come up, and this surprised me at the time when I first started rewatching this. It shows Sunday Night Heat, so I was like, oh, Sunday Night Heat was a show already at this point. I don't remember that. And then I looked down further, and it shows, Pacific Blue at 8, Silk Stockings at 9, The Big Easy at 10. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, that lineup of shows on Sunday night was called Sunday Night Heat. And then they eventually used that same name for the wrestling show that would take the place of those shows.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the origin of Sunday Night Heat. Pacific Blue, Silk Stockings, and The Big Easy.
Silk Stockings.
And JR. JR says, I personally love Silk Stockings. It's like, you don't watch that shit, JR.
Yeah, shut up, dude.
So, I did one thing about this night's audience. I love the first row. There's like just people genuinely happy and excited to see Austin. And they're like looking at each other, smiling, like, "Oh, you see him? You believe he said that? He did that? Wow!" And it's like middle-aged guys.
Yep.
And they're just getting a kick out of it. Tim White is the referee in this match, and he goes up to Austin after Austin gives a mule kick to Billy Gunn. So he kicks him in the nuts, and Tim White's telling him to knock it off or whatever. And then when White turns around, Austin pegs him off. And those guys in the front row, you got to watch. Their reaction is just awesome because they pop big time. They're like, "Whoa, can you believe he did that? He pegged him off."
Middle fingers.
Yes, that's bad. We saw it.
What a bad ass.
And then one thing I did like with Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn has good few spots here. He gets Austin in the corner, and then he gives Austin the double birds.
Yeah.
And you can see Austin like smiles about it. Like he's like, "Oh, all right, Austin."
See, Billy Gunn was made for the Attitude Era.
Yeah. He embraced it right away.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe that's why we got the TVMA here. There's too many middle fingers going on in the ring. So Austin eventually gets whipped to the corner. Billy Gunn reverses it there, and then he runs into a gut shot. So we have Austin kick him in the gut. He gives him a Stone Cold Stunner. There we go. And Vince McMahon says, "The stunner out of nowhere."
Yep.
A phrase that he will, or the announcers will continue to use. Obviously with the RKO and Randy Orton, out of nowhere,
which ties into his eventual out of nowhere rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but personification. I don't even know. But it's when it becomes the nickname, the rattlesnake, because it's out of nowhere, and that becomes a big staple of Stone Cold moving forward, is how his shit and his Stone Cold Stunner and his chaos just kind of happens out of
rattlesnake.
Nowhere. Yeah, it's awesome. But this is the first time he's said out of nowhere, right?
Right. Yep, first time out of nowhere is used. Rattlesnake will come soon.
Right.
JR is going to call him a rattlesnake. I don't know at what point, but I definitely took a note of it. So whatever episode we get to it, I'll bring it up again. So that's the gist of that show here. He has that match. A few other things that happened in the night is that Ken Shamrock has his in-ring debut. Now I didn't realize how. Looking back now, Ken Shamrock was like made for wrestling right away.
Yep.
He adapted very well to it. So give him credit where it's due there.
Yeah, he was
Bret Hart,
he was a natural, Ken Shamrock.
yeah.
Like a lot of guys at the time, like you saw a lot more of UFC guys, MMA guys trying to make the switch, and I don't think anyone was as much of a natural as Ken Shamrock was. Because you had the Tank guy, you had Dan the Beast Severin, there was a couple others, but Ken Shamrock was just like immediate impact, immediately natural ability, and he was,
And he looked great.
Looked great, and he was adequate enough on the mic.
Yep. And so that happens there, makes his debut. Bret Hart calls Austin a loser at some point, no big deal there, but just to show you that their feud is still going on. But also, Michaels and Hart is starting to build up too during these weeks, because they're trying to get Bret to go in multiple directions here. And that brings us to another promo segment, because Austin's night is not going to be over. That damn Gorilla Monsoon is going to screw around with Austin again. And he's gonna come out to the ring, and he's gonna make an announcement. And Steve Austin's not gonna be very happy with this announcement. So let's listen to the president, Gorilla Monsoon.
And indeed, thank you very much, Mr. President. If Sid does not make it here, first of all, can you tell us his whereabouts?
Well, Vince, as of this moment, Sid is not in the building. There have been some unconfirmed rumors that perhaps he missed a flight or he was in an accident in an automobile, but regardless, he's not here. I'm running out of time. I have to have some kind of a contingency plan, and I've checked the roster. The only one I have left here on the card tonight that would be a suitable opponent for Mankind would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm going to make that match in the event that Sid does not arrive. It's going to be as simple as that.
See, that's where you got a problem, son. I done wrestled once tonight, and I ain't going to go out there and save your little show. Just because someone didn't show up because he missed a plane. He's sick. I don't care what the hell's wrong with him. I say he's got a yellow streak running right down the middle of his back. I ain't going out in the ring because I was signed for my match. I done did it. What do you got to say about that?
Well, he could still show up here.
Well, hell, I hope
In the
he does,
event he
because I ain't
doesn't,
going to
I'm
wrestle
putting
again.
you in there with Mankind.
You'll put me
if
in
he
there
doesn't.
against Mankind. I'll wrap this damn brace right around your fat head.
Hey, wait a minute.
You ain't going to sit there and bully me around or tell me what to do. I don't give a rat's ass. They got Austin 316 signs. The fans are going crazy. I don't give a damn about your show.
Well,
No, I'll tell you, let me change that. Sid's supposed to have this big match here. He's supposed to have a big match against Bret the Hitman Hart on April the 20th.
That's correct.
I told Bret Hart he never would be through with Steve Austin, and I meant it. You give me the match on April 20th against Bret the Hitman Hart, and I'll save your ass. But you gotta give me the Hitman's ass, or the bottom line is, you can kiss my ass.
Well, we've still got a little time left yet. In the event that Sid doesn't show up, you'll get it.
Damn right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
All right, so Stone Cold there gets screwed, basically. I mean, he works it out to his favor, but at first, Gorilla Monsoon saying Steve Austin's the only viable opponent available for Mankind. That sounds like bullshit to me.
Yes.
That's like still stupid.
It is.
Of a whole locker room, there's not one guy back there that didn't have a match yet. So you're gonna pick somebody that had a match already. So Austin's kind of bullshit about it, and I just think it doesn't make any sense. The only viable opponent for Mankind is Steve Austin. It's bullshit. So Austin comes out. He's like, no way, not doing that. And even though he's the babyface to the audience, he's still acting the heel to authority, which is part of his appeal as a babyface, is that this guy has the guts to stand up to his boss. Yes, that's why people love him.
That's why they wanted him anyway. Like every time he disses the fans, it helps him out. It's like he gets more brownie points with us. So. Yep.
So he tells Monsoon, he's like, I'm not gonna save your show. I'm not here to save your show.
He's got the big brace in his hand. He's like, I'll wrap this brace around your fat head.
Yeah, he even tells the fans that he doesn't care about the fans. He's like, I don't give a damn about these fans with their Austin 316 signs and their T-shirts. I'm not here to save the show for you. I don't care. And like JB, he just said, the fans still eat it up. They love it. They're getting shit on by Austin. They're getting recognized.
Yeah, it's like a bad relationship. Yeah. Significant other just keep shitting on you. You just want more. And like, no, keep shitting on me. And that's basically Austin at this point.
Yeah.
To fans. Fans are like, yeah, tell me how bad I suck. Yeah, I'm buying 3 shirts now.
So Sid was supposed to be in this match with Mankind, and I feel like Sid is always just like not showing up to stuff.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Like he was in like a car accident or something, and like he got a concussion like a few episodes back we did.
Yep.
This guy's just he's not reliable.
Right. He's got to go.
Yeah.
So Austin says, all right, I'll take the match, but instead of Sid having his match with Bret Hart, I'm going to take his place in that match too. So, like I was saying earlier, I don't remember when that match was announced or why it would even happen, but Sid's not going to be around for this match, so I'm going to take Sid's match versus Bret Hart at In Your House on April 20th. And so that's what we're leading up to now, is that rematch, the third match between Hart and Austin. And that pretty much just sums up what happened there. So we're going to talk about his match with Mankind. But what I do want to point out is prior to the match with Mankind, Mankind cuts a promo. And it doesn't have much to do with Dawson's, kind of just about Mankind. But because of how awesome it was, I want you guys to check it out. Okay, so it's around an hour, in the 10-minute mark. You'll have this promo with Mankind. It's just absolutely captivating. Usually I can just fast forward through what some of the things and move on to get back to the Austin stuff as I'm taking notes for the shows. But when I got to this, I just listened for a minute, and then I couldn't stop listening because of how excellent Mankind was in this promo. And I even told JV, "You have to watch this."
And I did. It's awesome. There's just a lot of good points. It's just Mankind being Mankind. But at this point, he's kind of playing more of the sympathy card. I forget where he is exactly at this point in his career with the fans, but it seems like he's trying to get more sympathy from them. So I think at this point he starts to kind of make a turn where the fans start to really appreciate Mankind as a character. Listen to it. You'll see exactly what I mean. Like he becomes almost personable at this point. Because leading up to this point, he's just kind of like a monster. He's Mankind. Like this guy's whacked out of his mind. But in this promo, he's talking about his family being at home with white trash, throwing rocks at his house, screaming "Die, Mankind, die!" It's good shit, and you really should listen to it. You'll appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, it leads into the Steve Austin match with Mankind, and this just wraps up the show. So basically, what happens here is you're gonna have a big brawl between Mankind and Austin, and they're gonna have many more to come in the months and years ahead. Well, they're having a big brawl here, and the Hart Foundation comes out, or Bulldog and Owen come out, and they're just coming around, looking around, and they're not really doing anything at this point, so it's kind of annoying. And one thing that I did find annoying about this match is that there is so much leeway. This is not a no DQ match, and they're just breaking all kinds of rules, and nothing's being done about it.
Thoroughly annoying. It was hard to watch for that reason. Like I didn't know at first. Like, is this a no holds barred match? Like, what were the stipulations? I mean, obviously it's very physical, but Earl Hebner, I think, is the ref in this one, has no control of the match. It's just a sloppy, I don't know if you want to call it booking or whatever, but just shitty. Like I expect more out of that.
Makes the referee look like shit when they book it this way.
Yep.
It's like he looks like a sap. Like there's no control at all going on. Obviously they intended for all those things to happen. They wanted it to happen that way, but you lose credibility with your official when you do that. And I feel like Earl Hebner ends up in a lot of those situations. Oftentimes we'll see him, ignore something, and then moments later he'll be flipping out and pissed off about somebody doing something else.
Yeah, it's like, you can't pull his hair, got you, but he just kicked the guy in the dick and you did nothing about it.
Right, or Austin will do a mule kick right in front of Earl Hebner, but when there's a submission move and someone grabs the rope, he's flipping out and kicks Austin's arms off the rope, or
like what a spaz.
Yeah,
but no,
referees, especially Earl Hebner as a referee, he annoys me because I feel like they're acting like mimes, like they're clowns. And they act everything. their motions with their arms. They're acting everything out. Like if Austin hits somebody with the steel chair, Earl Hebner will pretend like he's hitting someone with a chair. Like, no, you did that, and he'll be moving his arms like he's hitting somebody with a steel chair. It's like, what the hell is this? We know what you're talking about, so you don't have to act it out for us.
All referees should be required to watch Ken Shamrock's refereeing WrestleMania 13, and that's how all referees should act. Maybe obviously they can't be all as jacked and badass as Ken Shamrock, but all around the match, up and down, like he was acting like a UFC ref, really, Ken Shamrock the whole time. Yep. But just no
credibility. And that's a real referee.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't. I know that you don't want the ref to kind of take away from the match, but sometimes them not doing anything kind of ruins the match. Obviously, this is probably the way it was supposed to be booked, but then at that point, just freaking call it before the match. Call it what it is. Declare it a no-holds-barred match. Yeah, no DQ, whatever. Because it's basically what it is. It's a physical, the no-holds-barred. They're all over the place on the outside. For one part, I'm like, did the match even start yet? Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
Because you start talking, you got side talk going on. It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
Maybe this was one of those tough man matches.
The tough man. It's all tough man matches.
It's a tough man match.
A McMahonism.
But to your point with, the ref should be like Shamrock. In that Edge and Christian episode that I just watched about the WrestleMania 13 match, now Edge gave praise to Shamrock because basically Shamrock was in spots that he needed to be in, and then not noticeable when he didn't need to be noticed.
Yeah, he was
that's
awesome.
how referees need to be.
Awesome.
So you have a star like Ken Shamrock, you almost forget he's the ref because the action's focused on Hart and Austin, and you don't really notice Shamrock unless he needs to be noticed. And that's how all refs should be, like you said.
I'm going to formally declare. I don't know if anyone's ever done this. Ken Shamrock, WrestleMania 13, the greatest officiating performance in wrestling history.
Definitely the greatest special guest referee.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't notice either until just yesterday when I was looking at I was watching some Austin documentary over the weekend, and they showed his match at WrestleMania 13, 14, 15. 3 years in a row at WrestleMania, Austin was involved in matches with a special guest referee.
Well, you got Shamrock, Tyson,
and then I think Mankind.
Oh, that's right. No, was it Mankind? Because one of those is...
It's The Rock versus Austin.
Is WrestleMania 15.
Yeah.
Because 14, next year we're getting DX and...
Yeah, Shawn Michaels
and Austin with all that.
And then it's a Rock Austin. I thought it was Mankind wearing his, the striped official shirt. But, yeah, it might not be right, but definitely it's a special guest referee.
Yep.
Who it is slips from my mind at this point. But.
Oh, one other thing that pissed me off about this match is Stone Cold drops a Luthez press on Mankind, and it's awful. It's so sloppy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's because Mankind doesn't take it well, because I didn't decide to replay it because it just sucked. I'm like, that sucked. I don't know whose fault it was. But I don't know if Mankind took it wrong or Stone Cold just jumped awkwardly. But it was shitty. And at that point, I'm like, man, this match really sucks.
Yeah, it did suck. And then it gets even shittier when everybody else comes out.
Yeah.
So Bulldog and Owen Hart are creeping to the ring. LOD comes out again.
Yeah.
Then Vader even comes out. And Mankind and Vader just stopped fighting each other, and they have the same manager. Like, why are they fighting? What the hell's going on with that? It's an unexplained storyline.
Quick, I need someone to hit. Get over here. Both guys are jock straps on their heads.
Yeah, that's true. So they both end up battling there, and then you have Bulldog and Owen. Austin chases Bulldog and Owen out of the place, and that's it. Show's over. So
Bulldog's awkward run because he's so jacked.
Yeah,
he just runs awkwardly. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Run. It's like, I am. It's like a hop.
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure his muscles are still flexing while he's moving.
It's like a shitty like video game sprite. Like, I don't know. It's like a shitty run. Doesn't look natural.
All right, so let's move on to the next week. You have Raw 205, April 14th, 1997. This is the go-home show, and there's not much Austin involved. This is just kind of building up. So we have an audio clip. It's another McMahon interview with Austin. So we'll play that clip. It's about 4 minutes, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Well, you've got what you want. You got your match with the Hitman, Bret Hart.
It was about damn time I got what I wanted out of this federation. Because you and Gorilla have seen fit to hold me down as long as you can. But the bottom line is, you can't hold me down no more, son. Nobody can.
All due respect, Mr. Austin, talent can't be held down. It always rises to the top.
You damn right, because you can sit there and you can cheer me or you boo me, but you can't deny that I'm the baddest SOB in this ring when the bell goes off. I had Gorilla Monsoon's right where I needed it. I had the leverage, and I've got the match that I wanted, and it's about time.
You really know how to apply leverage, don't you?
Hey, Bret Hart comes out here and says I've been screwed by the WWF. He says I've been screwed by Vince McMahon. Well, you ain't been screwed yet, Bret, because you ain't been screwed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you can bet your that's what will happen. Just a straight out match. You ain't got to have no kind of stipulations other than the fact that when the bell rings, I will get my revenge on Bret the Hitman Hart. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter, because I will beat the living hell out of Bret Hart, and there can't nobody stop me.
All due respect, I would suggest that the Hitman, whom we hear from later on, is going to take exception to this. And I would suggest, yes, Bret Hart certainly thinks that he has been screwed by the WWF with this latest turn of events.
You know, Bret Hart's come out here, and all he's done is copied every single thing I've done. He tries to walk like me. He tries to talk like me. He tried to create a new design so he could look like me. But when his is laying in a bloody heap in the middle of the ring, that's what the finished result is going to be, because Bret Hart can imitate me, and he can say he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, but his time has come and gone, and I live that every day of my life, and you can bet the bottom dollar is I will whip his
All right, so back from that interview here. This is a weird interview with Austin. Kind of rambles on towards the end. Doesn't make much sense. He just kind of rambles. I feel like he doesn't know. I feel like he slipped up somewhere, and he kind of loses his train of thought and what he was going to say.
He does.
So it all kind of wraps up pretty shitty. And one thing he said doesn't even make any sense to me. He says, Bret Hart copies everything I do. Like, what do you mean? Doesn't shave his head. He doesn't have a goatee. Not, swearing like you.
I think what, and I don't agree it was good. I mean, I agree that this wasn't. It was a forgettable promo for Stone Cold interview. But I think at that point, what he's trying to make, and it's a reach, is that Bret Hart's being a badass now. He's like dissing fans. He's, I forget if before this, did he have the skull, the Bret Hart skull on the back?
Yeah, Bret Hart had a skull on his.
Has he had that for a while now? Yeah, I forget. So he just
had it on his jacket for a while.
He's taking like these weird shots at him. I think he just means by copying him by trying to be a badass now. Like he's using words like ass, and every time Bret Hart says ass, it sounds awful anyway.
It does. It sounds like he's forcing it.
And I'm gonna kick your ass. But I think that's the point he was trying to make, in that Bret copies everything to do. Shitty point. Like not the way he should have gone with the interview, but like you said, I do think that he had something else planned, had a brain fart, totally forgot what the fuck he was gonna say, and then just said,
"Yeah, he wraps it up." Yeah,
I'll beat the living hell out of you, and just
Then they just end it.
Got real generic.
Yeah.
But Austin. I mean, McMahon. I love that. You can't be held down because the talent always rises to the top.
Yep.
That's
a good
awesome.
point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember him saying that until I watched it again. But I was like, you know what? I'm like, that's a good line. That's good.
Yeah. So other than that, not much there, and that just brings up, that's the build up there, the final build up. Shitty way to get to that build up is by watching the promo. But here we are. It's In Your House, Revenge of the Taker, April 20th, 1997, in Rochester, New York. You're going to have Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. So prior to that, we had a pre-match interview that we're going to play for you, about 3 minutes long, or 2.5 minutes. And what had happened previously is that Austin was attacked. Austin got attacked in the bathroom by Bulldog and Owen Hart. And they show this happening, and they got the camera on the bathroom, and then Owen Hart and Bulldog leave the bathroom, and it's classic. It's like it's almost like out of a cartoon or something, where Owen has like a little weapon in his hand, and he looks and he sees the camera, and he's like, "Oh crap!" and then he runs the other way.
It's like a Looney Tunes bit.
Yeah. So they both start running down the hallway after they notice the camera's there. And then we get into this promo, this interview segment. So take a listen to this and talk to you on the other side.
I'm back here with Stone Cold Steve Austin, World Wrestling Federation President Gorilla Monsoon. Stone Cold, I gotta ask you, are you in any shape to wrestle at all tonight?
Son, you ain't gonna keep me from that damn ring. I told Bret Hart he'd have to kill me before I left him alone. So you can take your ass and get out of here, because there ain't no way that I ain't fighting Bret Hart. And that's the bottom line.
Mr. Austin, you've refused medical attention after what must have been a savage attack. Is that very smart?
I don't need medical attention. I'll tell you, Bret Hart's gonna need medical attention when I get through with his ass, because he can bring his whole family and his old fat father stew, because none of them can whip Steve Austin's ass. They only got a piece, and they didn't get all of it.
All right. Well, Mr. Monsoon, obviously, Mr. Austin is wanting to go through with this match, but would it be in his best interest to have this match tonight?
Well, only one person knows how bad Steve Austin's hurt, and that's Steve Austin. And, I'm going to buy him a little bit of time. What I've done here is I've rearranged the lineup, and Undertaker and Mankind will go next. I'm going to buy him some time to get himself together, to recuperate a little bit. He's earned the right to have this match against the Hitman tonight. I'm going to give him every opportunity to do that.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Monsoon. Right now, let's go over to my colleague, Lance Wright with the Hart Foundation.
Thank you, Kevin Kelly. I'm here with the entire Hart Foundation, and you heard that no matter what, this evening, Stone Cold Steve Austin will wrestle tonight. And on top of that, Gorilla Monsoon, the president, is going to give him some extra time in order to prepare. Now, what were you two trying to perpetrate by walking in to the bathroom with Steve Austin?
Well, you know what, Lance? He started it. Me and Owen were in the bathroom. We're talking, we're celebrating our victory over the Legion of Doom. And he tried to physically attack Owen. I don't know what came over him.
Owen?
What the hell do you mean what we're trying to perpetrate? He came in the locker room, poked his nose in our business. I don't appreciate him coming in our locker room during our celebration time. I don't appreciate him talking about my dad and Stone Cold Steve Austin. As long as Gorilla Monsoon can stall it out, it doesn't matter, because time is running out. And when my brother Bret gets his hands on him, he's going to be all over for the third time. You know what the bottom line is? Who's crying now?
Oh, Vince, wow. Back to you at ringside.
That's cold.
All right, so Austin there has a couple funny lines there. He mentions how Bret Hart can bring his whole family. Bring your whole family. You can bring your fat fathers too.
His old fat fathers too.
Yeah, his old fat father.
I laughed when he said that. Poor Stu Hart.
So basically, because of the attack, Gorilla Monsoon is going to help Austin out, because he's been screwing Austin a lot. So he's trying to play nice now. So Gorilla's going to give him some time. So instead of the main event being Undertaker versus Mankind, it's going to be Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. Is going to replace it. So he's going to give them more time. They're going to go on last, which should go last. I think this is the better match. Okay?
And I think it's the headlining feud in WWF at this time.
Right, exactly. Easily. That's what I meant. Yeah, the headlining feud. everything's building around this. That's what the episodes are built up around.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did watch the Undertaker versus Mankind match, and actually it was pretty good. Pretty good match. So, check that out before you watch this match. Okay, so in that promo, what did you take from that? What were a couple of things that stood out to you?
Well, old fat father stew is probably my my favorite line from the promo itself. But just that he's overall he's pissed off. Stone Cold is, and he's trying to reinforce his determination and no quit attitude. I believe throughout the whole promo here, or interview rather. I call everything a promo. And I do like what they did with it because it could give them a legitimate reason to position this match closer, position the match to close the show. I forget if we captured this. Sorry. I like how Bret Hart says at the end, "Who's crying now?" Nice little punchline, zinger at the end.
He says, "You know what the bottom line is? Who's crying now?"
Yeah.
He's like all badass. Who's crying now?
But overall, I thought it was a good promo, much better than the interview we had with Vince McMahon on the Go Home show for Raw. I think this kind of helped save face, considering how shitty that interview was.
Yeah, it was redeeming. Yep.
This one, kind of gets you a little bit more hyped up now for the match because you see and you can hear Stone Cold's demeanor, how pissed off and determined he is to, really get Bret Hart this time.
Right, so definitely a better build-up than the previous Raw to this last match here, to this final battle between the two. Basically, this is the end of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. Okay, it's going to start at the 1 hour 23 minute mark. If you're going to check this match out, 1 hour 23 goes until 1 hour 47. So Bret's going to come down to the ring, and Doc Hendricks previously was interviewing Austin, and he just seems shocked that Bret Hart was saying, "Come on, guys," to Owen and Bulldog. He's like, "What do you mean, come on? What do you mean? Where are they going?" like
the Hart Foundation didn't just reform.
Right, like they haven't been hanging together for the last 3 weeks.
Where the hell you been, Doc?
Yeah. So they come down to the ring, and Soon is immediately going to ban them from ringside, which great, because they don't want to have to deal with their bullshit.
Tim White's trying to get them all out, trying to get control Owen Hart and Bulldog. Even though he doesn't end up reffing the match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think Hebner ends up reffing this match.
Yeah.
But Tim White's just kind of there, like, as an official to get these two jabronis out back away from ringside.
Yeah. You're right. I did notice the set. Okay, they didn't have the hole in your house set there. They usually, they would have the front door, the window. The window usually had the big screen on it.
Yep.
And they didn't have that at all. They only had the garage, which would be the entrance where the people came out from the garage. So, in your house is in your garage. Is where they're coming from this time. And they gradually, kind of do away with it over time. They probably just bring it. They probably use it when they can fit it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Or maybe this venue didn't have enough space for them to have the whole set. So anyway, just a little side note there. Hey, Austin is basically having his first main event final match on a pay-per-view, and it's gonna start off like the last one, like the WrestleMania 13 match, where they just get going. There's a big brawl, and the action starts very quickly.
Yep, fist flying.
Yep. McMahon does say something that doesn't make any sense. At the beginning of the match, he says, "Both men are in tip-top condition." Bullshit. Austin's out there with a freaking knee brace.
And he does correct himself, though. He does redeem himself, in a sense. But he's still fucked up.
Right. He notices that he misspoke, and then he clarifies. Austin, he's recovered, though. Austin hurt himself, but he's recovered. Freaking wearing a knee brace. I'm going to be in tip-top condition.
Both guys are in tip-top condition. It's like, dude, he just got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he just got jumped in backstage. That's why the match is on last.
Yeah, jeez. Where the fuck were you, boss?
Pay attention. Your own damn story. So the battle's all over the place, in and outside the ring. Like I said, similar start to WrestleMania 13. And they make their way back in finally, and they have a chair. And one thing I noticed was, this stood out funny to me, because Gorilla Monsoon's so big, big guy that he is, he's sitting at ringside in just a little chair, and it's like right in front of the steps to the ring. There's like no room for him. It's just like sitting awkwardly in a chair with like no space between his feet and the steps.
The biggest guy ringside has the most awkward spot.
Yeah, he's like right in the corner. It's just crowded over there. They can't even bring the action to that side because Gorilla Monsoon's blocking the whole area. So he's there for whatever reason. He's the president, so I guess he gets to have a front row seat and just watch the match. It's not like he did anything other than kick out, Bulldog and Owen, which he could have done and then went back to the back.
Yeah,
Now he's gonna sit there.
What a loser!
Yeah,
it's like eating lunch alone.
There is one good spot where Austin, after he gets back into the ring, he has Hart's out on the floor still. Austin goes in the ring and he does the signature Bret Hart move where pumps his hands.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I didn't know what to call it. I was thinking about that coming in. I'm like, what the frick do you call it? Like, what is that? But he's like, come on, bring it on. Look at me, guy. It's like Bret the Fonz Hart.
That's how you verbalize it, basically. Yeah. Hey, look at me.
Hey, look at me, guy. I'm the Hitman guy. Figure 4 around the turnbuckle. I'm your guy.
Like that?
Look at me. Look at my leather jacket.
Yeah, it kind of is like a Fonzie thing.
It's totally out of style, but I still rock this leather jacket. Hey.
Hey, I'm from Canada. Hey.
Want some sunglasses, little kid?
Oh, man. So, yeah, I called it just the wrist and the hand pump.
But I read that. I'm like, I think he's referring to the same thing I'm trying to refer to, but put in better words than I could have.
Yeah,
we need to call it the
Italian guy. Look at me.
A Canadian up top. Yeah, that's what we got to call it for now on. From now on, it's the look at me guy.
Look at me guy. Hey,
hey, I got a leather jacket guy. Glasses.
All right, so back into the ring, get some action here. Bret Hart is gonna drop kick Austin into the ref, so the ref takes a bump. Stupid Earl Hebner got in the way again. Hart had a chair and he starts to attack Austin's knee, and I like this move. Bret Hart goes out to help the ref up.
Yeah.
So he does damage to Austin. Then he's like concerned about the ref. Like, oh come on, ref, I got you. I'll help you up.
Brownie points.
So that's definitely a nice heel move. Is to act like you're the one. It's kind of like a Eddie Haskell type thing. Like Leave It to Beaver, where Eddie Haskell is like the punk, but to the parents, he's the sweetest kid.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's such a nice boy.
Right, but he's a dickhead. All right, so like I said, that was a cool move. And Hart's going to use another one of his signature moves that he's been using a lot, is that figure 4 around the post.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the annoying things about Earl Hebner that pisses me off, is that he's going to break the hold, okay, but then just moments later, okay, like a second later, Bret Hart hits Austin with the chair right in front of Earl Hebner. he does nothing about it. Hart has him in the post figure 4. Earl Hebner comes down, knock it off, get back in the ring, knock it off. And then Hart hits him with the chair and nothing said. So you should be even more pissed.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, like
you're disqualified.
Yeah, you should be DQ'd, dude.
Right. So the refs, not the refs, the announcers, commentators, JR, is going to make a point to say that this referee he's allowing a lot to go on here, and just pointing out the obvious that the audience is watching this, recognizing the fact that Earl Hebner is not following any of the rules. So the commentators kind of cover his ass by saying, he's letting a lot of things go. Got to give him credit.
Yeah, and as a little kid, you're confused. You're like, he's not playing by the rules. Like, what the fuck's the referee's role in all this? Just to count 3?
It's like if you're in a class and you get yelled at by a teacher, but then another kid does something, and the teacher doesn't say shit to them.
Yeah, or if you're in class and you pick up a chair and you hit your classmate with it, and the teacher doesn't do anything. Same fucking thing in a wrestling ring. When it's the fuck.
Now, I'm a big proponent of if it's gonna be fake, then fake it. Make sure that you're pretending still.
Yeah.
If it just follow the rules of the game that you created.
Yeah. What the hell?
So Hart's been in control basically this whole match for the most part. There's been a few spots where Austin gets over on him a little bit, but pretty much it's Hart controlling, and that's the way these matches should go. Really, you want the babyface to make a big comeback towards the end. So the heel's usually in charge for a big bulk of the match. So Hart is really kind of controlling this match. He's working the knee, and he even takes off the knee brace. And Austin does an excellent job selling it.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, probably because it's not really selling. It's reality.
Yeah, it's just probably in pain, and now he gets to really let out some pain. Like,
Right.
this shit's been hurting me for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, now I can actually say something about
and
it.
I can stretch it out. Fucking knee braces off, thank God. All right, put it back on.
So at this point, we're like halfway through the match, and Austin's going to give a nut shot. Earl Hebner does nothing, of course. There's another nut shot. That's fine. Austin's going to start choking Bret Hart with some wrist tape. Nothing there. Nothing, no concern there. That's okay. You can choke people out with your tape. Your wrist
Totally
tape.
cool. TVMA now.
But I do like Lawler calls Austin a cheater, and then McMahon comes up with Bret Hart is a big cheater, and that Bret Hart was the master cheater when he first arrived.
Yeah,
in the
I like
WWE.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I liked it because they don't oftentimes recognize anything that happened in the past.
Nope. The revisionist history. They just totally blow it out.
Right. Then they would never have mentioned that Bret Hart used to be a heel with the Hart Foundation until now. Now that he's a heel again, they'll bring up 1987 that he was a big heel. He was a master cheater, deceiver with the Hart Foundation. So, like that. Good touch there.
Yeah, it was a great touch by Vince.
Yeah. So Austin's making his he's going to make a comeback eventually, but it shows that he's taking his beating and he's just fighting through it. He's fighting hard to survive, and Bret Hart's just trying to punish him. He's not even trying to win. He just wants to punish him. He's going to put him in a figure four. Austin's eventually going to reverse that figure four, which apparently relieves the pain. You can reverse it and flip it over. Yeah. I forgot where I heard that before, but I think it was some WCW match. Maybe Ric Flair.
Yeah, it had to be a Ric Flair match. Had to be. Because I've heard that,
But they said if you flip it over, it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
So Hart eventually reaches the rope. Okay, and there's a break. Okay, so in this case, the rules apply. Bret Hart gets the rope, and you gotta follow the rules here.
Yeah.
How about no? You just let him struggle.
Choked him with your tape, no big deal. Hit him with a chair, nah, cool, totally fine with it. Kicked him in the balls, it's okay.
If
Get
you
off
grab
the
rope.
You're touching the rope.
All right, so we get it's just back and forth. Rules sometimes followed, sometimes not. And this would go on now for a while. This whole rules not meaning shit. And if I sound pissed off about it now, I was pissed off about it then too. And this is the point where it really starts to become that way. It's the rules don't mean shit. And at the time, just as it is rewatching it, it's annoying to me. If you want this match to be a no DQ match, then just announce it from the start. Create the stipulation. If you know you're going to do these spots in the match, just make it no DQ. But this match is going to... Yeah, this match ends in DQ. So it would have changed the whole...
Yeah, that's what pisses me off the most about this match. Not to steamroll to the end here, but that it ends in a freaking DQ after all the shit
right.
that's been let go throughout the match. It ends in a DQ.
Right,
So
you DQ'd this match like fucking 20 times.
So Austin gets his win, but come on.
Right, so that right around this point where we're having all these things happen, we have this ref break the rope break. This is what JR says, that I admire this ref is letting this go on for as long as he has. Like I said, it's a good point for JR because the audience is thinking, hey, what the hell's the rules here? So JR recognizes that the ref's letting a lot go here, so we need to make it a point to mention it so that the audience knows that we're aware of it too, and we're not just
Like they're not idiots either. Like, no, we see
Right.
what's going on. That was good to finally hear one of the announcers.
Right. I mean, that's what the commentaries need to do.
Yeah.
So ultimately, good commentary. Commentary is huge. If you watch a match without commentary, it's a totally different match than with the commentary. Good commentary makes it for a better match. Bad commentary can make a good match shitty too.
I agree.
All right, so you have some action back in the ring now. You got the classic sternum first, Hart into the corner. I feel like we've talked about that like 20 times.
No, because he does it every match. No one does it better.
Right. Classic move. I love that spot. Even on the Edge and Christian podcast, not to harken back to that, but they mentioned that. They mentioned the sternum first move that Bret Hart. Bret Hart even says, "I think I'm feeling the effects of it today now." For all the sternum first moves that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling that now.
I swear he does one every match.
Yep. He does do a lot of the same moves just over and over again in his matches, but they're just so well executed.
Because he's the excellence of execution.
The excellence and execution.
I mean, you could say that about any wrestler. They all kind of they do what they're good at.
Right. Austin attempts a pile driver. I thought this was a good spot because he couldn't lift him, so his leg gives out. So that's great storytelling there, is that, they've been working on the knee the whole time. He's knee brace. Perhaps going after it over and over again.
Yeah,
so
I'd say low-key the best part of the match up to this point was that. I was like, that was good. That's good storytelling.
Yep, excellent. So he attempts it, leg gives out, perfect. Even JR even goes on to say right after that, Austin may need knee surgery after. So they just kept selling that point big time. Austin's going to attempt a stunner. Okay, but Austin is too close to the ropes and he hooks the arm into the rope, which I thought was a cool shot. Kind of dumb on Austin's part to not do it a little bit more center of the ring. Good nonetheless, because you hadn't seen that before. Somebody holds onto the rope to avoid it.
Yep.
And then he gives the nut. Bret will give him a nut shot. And the ref doesn't care, of course. But moments before, he broke the hold in the corner. And they were both fighting in the corner, and the ref tried to separate them in the corner. But then in a nut shot comes nothing. Okay, so just constantly you have these issues where one thing's okay and the other thing is not. Frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It's not a pleasant. Yep. Kind of takes away from this match a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. It's the ref. The first match was Tim White, Survivor Series, and then you had Shamrock, and now you have Hebner. And the worst match is the worst of the three is this one. Easily. Not that it's bad, but it's not as good because of the ref.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
It takes the lack of officiating takes away from the match. I mean, at this point, too, this obviously becomes a theme throughout the Attitude Era where the ref is just kind of like there, but they never announce it, but it's basically like the ref's discretion on what rules they want to enforce, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I don't like when it happens nowadays. It still happens. And I didn't really care for it then because it's just, I'm used to a little bit of structure.
Takes away from the illusion of it being a competitive activity.
Yep, so when you try to watch this with someone that might not be a wrestling fan, and they see that shit happen, you're like, oh, what the hell? And then I got to deal with explaining it. It's the fuck? Don't put me in that spot.
You almost have to say, it's because it's wrestling. It's bullshit.
It's a TV show, guy. What the hell? Jeez. You watch a show with zombies. How fake is that guy? Come on.
So you have a nice superplex off the top rope from Hart to Austin. And then Bret's going to go for a sharpshooter. And Austin's going to hit him with his knee brace. And the knee brace has been laying there for a while. Ever since it first came off when Bret Hart took it off to attack his knee. And now it's just been laying there. And our senior official, Earl Hebner, just leaves it there. He doesn't kick it off to the side. He doesn't clear the ring, which is something that you should do. Okay, I know last month, Ken Shamrock had a little issue with the bell being left in the ring, but hey, it was his first night on the job.
Yeah, a little different. Guy's a rookie. Earl Hebner's a seasoned vet, you know?
Right. You should know better. Get rid of that knee brace. Push it off to the side.
Like, come on.
You got a whole crew of people that work the table. They work the timekeeper's table. You know, they hold on to the belt. They hold on to the jacket. What the fuck are they doing? Get the shit out of the ring.
Clean it. Look out for the safety of the performers in the ring, man.
Right.
Jesus, Earl. I really hate you right now.
Our listeners are probably like, these guys know it's fake, right? Why are they talking like it's real?
Because it's supposed to be the illusion of reality.
Exactly.
And it's not present, and it pisses me off. Because up to this point, they kind of do a good job. But it's like all these Earl Hebner matches. They're just kind of all, like you said, I didn't notice it as much then, but because we're watching this shit now, I'm older, a little bit more intelligent, I think.
A bit more wiser.
Yeah, so come on.
You know? We want what's presented to us to have an air of reality, you know? Not this bullshit right from the start.
Yeah. And every time I watch it with my in-law, he hates wrestling. The guy just doesn't get it. And I always have to justify stupid shit like this, and it's just like, come on.
And you can't.
No, I can't. And
then they're not even trying.
And I'll watch Rifleman with him from like the 1920s. And I do too. It's actually a good show. But I'm like, oh, look how stupid. Guy, you could tell that guy didn't get shot. So I try to play those cards with him. And he doesn't give a shit. So it's like, I just look like an idiot.
That's the thing with wrestling is because, with a TV show, they go into it knowing that it's actors and that it's not real. But even, when people say wrestling's fake, they still go into it like these are real performers. Like these are, like they're actually competing. It's like, no, we know they're not actually competing.
Yeah. It's like, because there was a period of time from like the 20s to the 70s where majority of people didn't realize that, it was entertainment.
Right.
So, now we're 50 years fucking later, and you still got to defend to those people.
Yeah.
And you even got some people our age that are still like, Jesus. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. It's just a fucking TV show.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah. And don't talk to me about it.
Right.
I don't want to hear you.
Yeah. Because if you're not going to like it, you're not going to change your mind then.
Yeah. Go watch your trash shit on MTV, your Alabama Slammers, your freaking
Florida show.
Yeah, your fucking Jersey Shores.
Those freaking shows are work too. Those aren't reality.
No shit. I'm like, oh, you still think Jerry Springer's real? Like, come on.
Everything's a work.
Yeah. But back to the match. There was a little side rant for the week.
So Earl Hebner just looks like a shitty ref. Okay, he probably is a good ref, but the position that they book him in, he looks like shit. Or maybe he's not good. Maybe he just sucks. We'll have to see.
Maybe it's a running views with all the wrestlers in the back. They're like, all right, let's go totally make Earl Hebner look bad. Because we have no respect for this guy. Yeah, I'm going to bring a chair in the ring like 10 minutes in. See what he does.
So, actually, that's a good thing you bring up the chair because Bulldog at this point in our match here is he's running down to the ring and he's going to have a chair. and Austin's going to break the sharpshooter. I didn't mention that, but Bret Hart ends up in the sharpshooter by Austin. And that's when Owen and Bulldog run down, and Austin ends up breaking the sharpshooter hold to go after Owen. And Bulldog has a chair, and he just leaves it on the apron. Another ref has to come down and clear it from the ring, though. Earl Hebner doesn't clear it, of course. But 3 other referees come down to ringside because of Owen and Bulldog being down there. And I was surprised that the chair was left there. I thought the chair was going to be there for a spot, but they didn't even end up using it. these refs, they should have came out earlier to help out Hebner.
Yeah. Like replaced them.
Yeah. All right, you're all done. You can't. Yeah. You're not doing anything right here.
Hit the showers. You're done. Turn in your shirt.
So Austin eventually gets the sharpshooter on again, but Bulldog is there, and he hits Austin with the chair, and then it's a DQ. So it all just ends kind of like DQ finish.
Yeah, after all that.
Bret Hart hit Austin with the chair right in front of Earl Hebner. Now it's a DQ because it's Bulldog that hit him. Now, sometimes that pisses me off when, just because there's interference in the match, they call the match. Why?
Like, restart it. Like, this is a best of 3. Austin really wants this victory. But, I get it for, because I'm a fan of wrestling. I have been for a long, long time. Lifelong fan. You just kind of know that the whole goal here is, it gives Austin the win. Bret Hart doesn't technically look too weak. From this point on they're moving Hart more towards the HBK feud and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I get it, but I don't have to agree with it.
Yeah, so the match ends in a DQ. So all these 3 matches, the 3 single matches that Austin will have with Hart on pay-per-view, at least. Austin doesn't win clean on any of them. He doesn't pin Bret ever. He doesn't make Bret submit. So it's like Bret didn't make him submit either. Bret
rolled him up. Survivor
Series. Rolled him up at Survivor Series. Got a pinfall, and at WrestleMania, you have Austin just passing out. I don't even know how Bret Hart gets a victory there either, because he didn't quit. That was the rule of the match.
But the ref's decision is final.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so a couple things happen after the match. Bret Hart is going to go for the bell. He just wants to be more heelish, and Owen and Bulldog are going to pull Hart out of the match because Austin ends up whacking Hart with a chair, and he gets the sharpshooter on him again. The refs try to break it up, and like I said, Owen and Bulldog pull Hart out, and they leave. And Austin's music plays. And JR is all pumped up. He's the fightingest SOB there is. He's the most fightingest SOB. And, the match there's good spots in the match. There's a good story of the match, but, things are taken away from illogical ref decisions. And the fact that it ended in a DQ, doesn't sit well with me. I thought this could lead to another match.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that. Like, all right, if it's going to end this way, then, you need to have this match in a steel cage, to keep everybody out.
Yeah.
To just let them go at it in a cage, and whoever, there's got to be a winner. But they didn't do that either. They didn't want to blow off steel cage match. But the next night on Raw, they're gonna have the street fight. Okay, so no rules. Which this match should have been that street fight, and then it would have been perfect.
Yep.
So next week we'll talk about that. It'll be the very first thing we talk about this episode. We'll do a skull rating. I give this one a 3.5. A 3.5. It's tough for a Hart and Austin match to not be, better than lower than a 3 to me. So I went 3.5, maybe even 3 if I really wanted to be picky. But actually, yeah, I'm going to go 3. I'm going 3 because of the ref shit.
That's why I'm giving it 3 skulls as well, is because of Earl Hebner's trash, absolute garbage performance as a referee. Like, come on.
Right.
Grow a pair, bro.
So, yeah, 3 skulls. So, of the trilogy, this is the lowest ranked one, in our opinion. And probably goes down that way in most people's view, being the 3rd best. Actually, I think the next night the street fight's better than this, too. So, maybe this is number 4 of their 4 singles matches.
Yep. But as far as the pay-per-view matches, this is definitely the...
Yeah, definitely the lowest of the pay-per-view.
Yep. They're in the times of pay-per-view.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps up most of April. Okay, brings us to the pay-per-view of April. And next week we'll get into finishing off April and getting into May and getting into the next In Your House, Cold Day in Hell. At one point in this show... of the In Your House, they're advertising their next pay-per-view, and it's like, ooh, wowee, another In Your House. It's like,
we're back in your house again.
I think part of the decision to go with separate names probably had to do with that. Like, we're just gonna keep saying we have In Your House again. There's another In Your House. There's another In Your House. Month after month, like there's a few times in the year where it's back to back In Your Houses.
Yeah, and then
it's right. Doesn't feel special.
And a lot of the names of the inner houses are pretty bad, too.
Yeah, it's tough. It's kind of like when we try to think of our episode titles, it's like, eventually we're gonna, run into some difficulty with the names. Like this week's episode, I don't even know what we're calling it.
Earl Hebner sucks.
shitty ref.
Yeah, shitty referee. Old fat father Stu.
And sometimes it's easy, Yeah. Like next week's episode, it's based around Austin versus Undertaker. The name of the In Your House is Cold Day in Hell. That actually makes sense. So
Yep.
Next week's episode will be Cold Day in Hell. But we can't call this one Taker's Revenge because it has nothing to do with Undertaker.
So have we come to a name yet? Or are we gonna?
No, we haven't come to one yet.
We got to kind of come up with one now.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm thinking. Who's Crying Now? I don't know. That sucks too.
I think I might just go
Silk
Hart
Stockings.
Austin 3.
Yeah, Hart Austin 3. Works. We'll use Roman numeral 3. So
Make it special.
Yeah.
Like I said about WrestleMania.
Hart Austin 3. Like
3.
Jaws 3. Jaws 3. In 3D.
In 3D, yeah. 3D.
I don't know why I picked Jaws 3 of all the... I just remember that movie trailer being ridiculous.
All right, so we're just going to go through the house show shit and mention some of the house show action that Austin had. Last month, on the last episode, he didn't have any house shows. So that was easy last week. But in this case, let's just go through here. Just going through real quickly. I don't see anything. And maybe he's getting another month off because of his injuries. Actually, he's in the Kuwaiti Cup. Goes to Kuwait, and on April 10th, he has a match with Bret Hart. And he defeats Bret Hart by countout.
Hey.
Okay, April 10th. Okay, April 11th, he gets pinned by Owen Hart. Owen Hart pinned Steve Austin when Davey Boy Smith tripped up Austin as he attempted to suplex Hart into the ring. And Hart fell on top of him, and Davey Boy Smith held down his legs. Oh, that's a classic spot where you try to do and the guy grabs you from the outside and then just pulling outside the ring and the ref can't see it. And, I've seen that numerous times.
Hell yeah.
I think Owen Hart's been involved in a bunch of those. April 12th on the Kuwaiti tour, Steve Austin defeats Davey Boy Smith in a non-title match, European champion. So you get this new title, European Championship, Davey Boy Smith. He's going around the world with it. And he's not defending it. He's just in non-title matches with it. So put him in matches with, if you don't want Austin to beat him, then have Davey Boy go up against people that he can defeat. So he looks like a champ.
Yeah, I mean, even just like enhancement talent, like what the hell?
Right.
At least showcase the belt.
Now you got on that same card you had Ahmed Johnson pin Bart Gunn. Well, how come Davey Boy Smith can't pin Bart Gunn in the European title match?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's being nitpicky. But
no, that's kind of a weird title during that time, though. It's like they declare it, they have the tournament, and then it's just kind of like if you look at the early history of that title, it's choppy as hell.
Oh yeah, and he never defends it. That's one of the other major things about that title. He's the European champion because he's from England, but he's not really defending the belt at all. So that was April 12th, and now we're just a week out in front of the In Your House, and Austin has a match against Owen Hart. He pins Owen Hart April 18th in Youngstown, Ohio. Then at State College, Pennsylvania, Austin's going to pin Owen Hart again. And then that's on April 19th. And then here we are, April 20th, Revenge of the Taker. So not much on the house show scene. So sometime in Kuwait, and then a couple house shows the weekend of Revenge of the Taker. So that's Austin's month of April on the house show scene. Okay, so like I said earlier, next week is Cold Day in Hell. Hey, that'll be episode 10. Episode 10, double digits. Reaching double digits.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We made it.
And, yeah. So we got Cold Day in Hell, and we also have our voted on special edition watch-along live commentary coming at you next week, also on the Friday, on Black Friday. I can't believe Thanksgiving's next week. It's crazy.
Time flies, man.
Freaking next week.
Next
Jesus.
week. Yeah, kind of. I'm looking forward to it because it's a couple days off, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
it's
sucker
nice,
going
but-
into Black Friday shopping. I bet.
Not me.
I'm doing Thanksgiving at my house. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I got to drive up to Maine on Black Friday.
Oof, that traffic, dude.
Yeah, it sucks. But go see family and whatever. We're gonna come back the same day too, though. So we go up. So your listeners out there live in Massachusetts. We're gonna go from Massachusetts up to Maine, and then back in the same day.
And not like Massachusetts north, like Massachusetts as south as you can get.
Right, we're the southernmost part of Massachusetts. I mean, the only good thing about it is we're not in the west.
Yeah.
So,
Oof.
you just have to go straight north.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. It's a yearly routine, so
I gotta do it. Family first.
Exactly. What else did I say? Oh, we didn't talk about Boston sports. And there's a reason why we didn't. It's because fucking Patriots blew this weekend.
Because the Pats sucked. The Celtics suck right now. And I don't know, I'm kind of over the high of the Red Sox winning.
Yeah.
I'm not a big hockey fan, but I think the Bruins won. I know they got up ahead early, I think yesterday against the Vegas Knights. They were up like 1-0, but
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I clicked through, saw that. Well, yeah, nothing exciting with the Patriots. That game was a lost cause from the start, basically.
that game sucked. It was just that they
Fucking
looked
sucked.
flat. It was awful. Well, I
It's
don't know.
like we go into the game. It's like, all right, Titans. They're coming off a couple wins, but mediocre team at best. Mariota hasn't done shit all season. They don't even really have any solid receivers. And it's like, we got this game.
Yeah.
And then it's probably what the Patriots thought too. We got this game.
Looked like that's what they thought. Or Belichick was giving Vrabel a
Give him
gift. But I know things are tough over there in Tennessee. So, like, all the vets on the Pats were like, we're going to give him this one. We're going to play like shit, even though that's definitely not the case. But still.
Right. If it was wrestling, we could say that happened.
Like, he threw it. It's because he's his boy.
Some people still think that way, though.
Yeah, that too.
All right, so
Pats pulled their best Earl Hebner impersonation. Damn, we're really beating up Earl Hebner.
yeah, I just wanted those listeners to know, though, like, we don't always just talk about when we get praise. I don't want them to, that's funny. They didn't talk about the Patriots getting their ass kicked.
Get all these shitty memes.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, look, he tripped trying to catch. He caught the ball, but he tripped before the first down marker. Some whack meme.
I text somebody, I forgot who it was, but I was like, looks like Brady's never used his legs before. Just like stumbling and bumbling. He tripped over his own leg.
Yeah, he's not coordinated. No. But damn, he could throw a football over that mountain.
Napoleon's uncle.
Guy rules.
All right, so again, next week, Cold Day in Hell. Watch along on Friday. It should be a good one, hopefully. I watched the match already. I was surprised by a lot of it, so definitely a lot to talk about. So it'll be a good one. I was just, like I said earlier, surprised by how many people voted for us. I was wondering, like, are we being trolled? Are people just making us watch the shitty one?
I saw 40 votes. I was like, shit. Like, we coming up. We up in her. And then you're telling me 80. I'm like, Jesus, hold on. I got to go to the bathroom and take care of myself. It's a big number.
So, hopefully, a good amount of those are actually listeners, too.
Yeah, right. Like, I'll vote on this freaking poll.
Whatever this show is.
Yeah. So, fuck it. I'll pick this one.
Hey, maybe the people that voted for it, when it gets released, they'll be like, I voted for that, so let me listen to it.
If you're one of those people, feel free to hate tweet me or send me a Tom Brady meme if you're not a fan, and I'll probably laugh at it. You can cry inside a little bit, but go for it.
All right, I also wanted to give a couple of shout-outs, to a couple friends of the podcast.
Shout-out time!
Yeah, so we have... and they've been calling us this on their shout-outs, the Talking Taker show. They've been calling us their sister show or brother show because we're dudes.
Yeah. I'm offended in 2018 because you referred to me as a sister show. I am a man. I self-identify as a man, and I am a man.
No, it's probably not okay to say you're a man, though. It's okay to say you're anything else, maybe.
Yeah. You trying to be a... Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I will go.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Keep that opinion to myself. Bury it deep inside.
Yeah. So, Talking Takers podcast, our brother podcast, and they do, what we do. We go through the career of Steve Austin. They go through the career of The Undertaker, okay? Like month by month. And currently, they're at the Biker Taker phase. So they're in the year 2000. So they started out right from the beginning, too. Back with his debut at Survivor Series 1990. And they've just been doing every pay-per-view match, going over each pay-per-view match. And they started to go into the different, the build-up, too, to each of those pay-per-views. So they like what we do with Steve Austin. You'll like what they do with The Undertaker. Even if you're not a Taker fan, it's still a glimpse through WWF history.
Yeah, it's still good to go back and relive that stuff, man.
Right.
Do it up.
I mean, just like with our show, it's focused on Steve Austin, but throughout his time here, we're encountering various different characters, as part of Austin's career. So Undertaker has many more, and has many more years of The Undertaker. Travis White, who's on the Talking Taker show, he made a point last week about our show. He said, those guys doing the Steve Austin show, they did it the right way. Austin's only with the company for 7 years, and we got Undertakers around for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Like,
they're gonna be doing this. They're gonna catch up to real time soon.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's part of consideration as we looked at it. And, we saw that it would only take us a year to do it, so we're not committed for beyond that.
Have to make like addendum episodes, like, oh, he came back, he's out of retirement. Time to bust out a new episode.
They're gonna have to. They have the Crown Royal. No, it's not Crown Royal. How was that pay-per-view called?
Crown Jewel. Crown Royal.
Whoa, Lush. Alcohol.
Lush. What are you doing after the podcast?
So they already have a Crown Jewel episode that they know they have to do one day.
Yeah.
And they'll probably, by the time they get to it though, they'll be able to look back and be like, wow, all those old guys look like shit.
Yeah. This is The Undertaker? What the fuck?
But anyways, check out Talking Taker. And then another podcast, friendly podcast with us is Booking the Territory, unprofessional pro wrestling podcast, where they break down NWA World Championship Wrestling Saturday night episodes from the mid-'80s onward. So they started in 85, they're on 87 now. And they also break down Smoky Mountain Wrestling TV episodes starting from 1992, and they are currently in 1994. So check out Mike Mills, Chris Harper, and the Doc on Booking the Territory, unprofessional wrestling podcast. And you can find us on Twitter and interact with us and vote on polls, give us advice, whatever. Anything that you tell us what you like. And, be like what your parents say. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't. So.
You don't have anything I say, come say it to me on Twitter.
Yeah. So I'm at MPRU83, and JV is at John Van Damage, and we are at the Bottom Line Cast. And whatever you're listening to us on is what you listen to us on, I'm sure. But we're on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and Google Play. And we were on Podbean, but Podbean sucks. So I just, I stopped updating that page. So
sorry if you were looking for us there, but
yeah,
Stitcher, iTunes.
Yeah, there's only like one listener, so
yeah. We're bigger.
You can find us. Find us somewhere else.
The one list was probably you looking to see how many listeners there were.
Probably.
Like, oh, that counts. That's a listener. Gotta get that demo. Gotta get that count.
I try to make sure that I don't click on play on any of our episodes on my phone because I don't want it to count as a listen.
Start inflating your stats.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for listening. I don't have the numbers in front of me now, but we get solid numbers every week. We definitely have a consistent group of people that listen. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. So we get a lot of people throughout Massachusetts. That I don't know why it just happens that way, but there's a lot of people from Massachusetts that we get listeners from, New York, and down to Georgia, Ohio, and Texas. There's a lot in California. We got somebody in Sweden listening every week. So out there in Sweden, thank you. And we have Australia oftentimes, somebody every week, or I don't know if it's the same person, but probably is, in Australia. So we're growing. Thank you for supporting us, and help us grow even more by sharing it, tweeting out that you listen to the show. We'll retweet anything that you have nice to say about us, and in the hopes of getting some more followers and listeners. So thank you for being along this ride so far. We have many more episodes to come as we continue on this journey throughout Stone Cold's career, and we start to get into the really good shit down the road, like his match with Shawn Michaels coming up, his feud with The Rock, and then I can't wait to get to the Vince McMahon stuff. That's going to be some good shit. And we get into that later this year when Austin gives the stunner to McMahon on Raw. So good shit happening.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah. All right, so thanks, guys, for listening. I'm Mike Prue, JV, signing out. So long.